Well, sorry about that. We got a little extended break there. We had a Medicom through the Midwest. I looked at the Medicom outage. Everything was off for my internet and stuff like that, but the TV was still going. So, but I looked on their outage indicator. It was all the way through Chicago, Wisconsin, Minneapolis, Iowa, St. Louis, all the way down through there. 22 states it was affecting. Kind of wild to see that drop like that. But the TV was still. We got 30, 40 mile an hour winds. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. Usually I think it's just somebody flipped a switch or something, or like the old commercial where the guy spilled coffee on it. But yeah, we had 22 states affected. I was down for probably, got into my first break, so I was down about 50 minutes. So we're going to be a little bit of on tabulating everybody's favorite Girl Scout cookie. So I'm going to give it a week, and I'm going to do is get a total of what everybody's favorite Girl Scout cookies. We're going to see who, see what one is the most favorite out of people listening to ARM Radio. So if you get you got to want to put in your vote. Run it on Facebook. I'm going to run it on Twitter. I'm going to run it on every platform that we got. Post your favorite Girl Scout cookie. And right now, the current Girl Scout cookies, you got Thanks a Lot, Cranberry Citrus Crisp, Lemonade, Shortbread, Thin Mints, Peanut Butter Patties, Caramel Delights, Peanut Butter Sandwich, and Trios. Caramel Delights had another name. I think they were called the Samoas, if I'm not mistaken. That would have been they look like the Keebler Fudge Stripes, but they're Keebler Fudge Stripes with some looks like toenail substance on it to me. Sure that you get your vote in, find out what the favorite, your favorite Girl Scout cookie is. Look on, go to abcsmartcookies.com and you can see all the different cookies. They're listed there that are for 2016. They rate them all. Some of them are actually, which I was kind of surprised, they're is vegan. Oops, wrong button. I think the lemonades are vegan. Shortbread not. Thin Mints are vegan. Caramel Delights are gross. I mean, they're not vegan. And that's so there's like 3 or 4 of them that are vegan, which I mean, I don't know what what would be in there that would be non-vegan. Yeah, let's get your vote in. Getting back to some of the stuff we're going to talk about on articles that have been going over. We had, what I want to talk about, and this goes on to the false flag. I've done a lot of different shows on 9/11. And, I mean, 9/11 has always bothered me. It's something that we don't want to ever forget. But this is an article that came up. This came off the site is called truthandshadows.wordpress.com. And what it does, it talks about the locks and electricity. And it was talking about turned off the weekend before 9/11. So, and it's an article that goes down and it lists, and this is written by Craig McKee. So you can check it out at truthandshadows.wordpress.com. You know, there's been a lot of different things said about 9/11, whether it was we knew it was happening or if it was an inside job or whatever. Like, the article says, you know, it says many of us can't believe explosives were placed in World Trade Center because it would be impossible. And it says this assumes a lot of things. First, it assumes that the people are paying attention when work is going on in the Trade Center. Secondly, more importantly, it assumes that even people raise question that something is going on to listen to them. So it says Scott Forbes, who is a senior database administrator for Fiduciary Trust, located on the 97th floor of the South Tower, received a remarkable notice 3 weeks before 9/11 attacks. Informed his company that there would be a power down on the weekend of September 8th and 9th, 2001. This would mean all power would be off in the top half of the South Tower for most of the weekend. For what? Said Forbes has called this unprecedented. Data center lose power for 2 days requires major preparations and disruption. He reports thus, as part of the power down, all security cameras and security door locks were non-operational for 36 hours. Remember, there was so access was free unless the door was locked by a manual key. It was unusual, Forbes said. Says this work was claimed to be part of an upgrade to the internet service in the building. No one has explained why this work required a complete cutting of electricity. And reels of cable walking around the building that weekend, he said. There were also a heightened security level at the towers for 2 weeks because of several alleged phone threats. The extra scrutiny, which included bomb-sniffing dogs, was removed on September 6th. Forbes wrote to the Port Authority and the 9/11 Commission to bring his suspicions about the power down to their attention. No mention of any of it was made in the 9/11 Commission report. It says it might be useful to point out those who aren't aware of it. The company that had contract to provide security for the World Trade Center, United Airlines, and Dulles International Airport at the time was called Securicom, now Stratesec. 2000 was George W. Bush's younger brother, Marvin Bush. The CEO of the company from 1999 to 2000, Wirt D. Walker III. Said between 1996 and 2000, Securicom installed a new security system in the World Trade Center. Unfortunately, the details of what they did was destroyed along with the towers on 9/11. After Marvin Bush left Securicom in 2000, he became the director of HCC Insurance Holdings Incorporated until 2002. Center. Small world. If the power down was the only suspicious work being done in the towers, it says you might be inclined. In 2001, there were many vacancies in the tower. There were even entire floors that were empty. Longtime Trade Center employee William Rodriguez, who's talked about hearing massive explosions in the lower part of the towers on 9/11. Ben Fountain of Fireman's Trust also described the odd work being done. Aon Corporation was evacuated numerous times from their offices in the upper floors of the South Tower. They were also moved from one floor to another. It says Fountain reported hearing loud noises on nearby floors, including the sound of pneumatic drills. He also says there was a great deal of fine white dust over everything. I said, does any of this? No. But it's part of the puzzle. And there were so many incredible coincidences that one can swallow as being coincidences. When you add this enormous amount of evidence that only explosives could have brought down the towers, down the way they fell, a conclusion becomes inescapable. So, I mean, I could see if the buildings were going to come down. There was a guy on that was I guess you would call him I don't know. He was a blacksmith, I guess it would be. And he was going like he was showing showed the exact type of steel that they had in the World Trade Center. Well, he subjected it to a certain amount of heat. And he was saying, can it bend under this amount of heat? Well, the heat for the jet fuel would only be to a certain level for a short period of time. Stay at that temperature. Once it burns off, it starts to reduce. So he shows this where he has a blowtorch and he heats it to a certain temperature and then he bends it. Well, bend. How come they didn't bend and lean over to the one side and the whole top half of the building fall off? So it just, when the towers come down, it just doesn't seem like they would go straight down. They had a major fire this year over in building. I think it burnt for 2 days. Building never fell. I mean, you look at different buildings that have been struck by planes and not collapse. So I think it's a good read. I think it's good to stay informed. And then I always love the people that go, oh, what are you, a conspiracy theorist or conspiracy nut, whatever? And I go, okay. Well, so in other words, I go, who are you running for, or who are you voting for president? And they go, oh, feel the burn, feel the burn. Would be considered a conspiracy nut, thinking that 500 and some billionaires control everything. That those 500 billionaires control your life, that keep you in debt in college. They're the ones loans out. You're thinking you're going to get free college because of that. They're not going to get free college. The people after them will probably get free college if he gets elected. Out of school and you graduated, you're going to be paying for everybody else's free college. It's kind of like right now. I send my kids to Catholic school. I still pay the taxes to send them to public school, and I don't send them. And I pay extra to send them to Catholic school. Get a tax rebate for for not sending them to the public school. I still pay the same taxes. I'm still going to pay taxes like they're going to public school, like I have kids in school. You have to talk to people that are 60, 70 years old, and they're still paying the same taxes like they have kids in school. When they don't, they might, let's say you don't have any kids, and you're a married couple or a single person. You pay taxes just like you had kids in school. Doesn't matter. There is no free lunch. You're going to pay for it one way or another. You're going to pay for it indirectly. Indirect costs. $10 to a barrel of oil. So you add $10 to a barrel of oil. That's a minimum of 25 cents to a gallon. So 25 cents to a gallon it'll always be there. How many taxes have you seen them repeal? None that I can think of. You have no desire to repeal them. So, I mean, you got to do is understand that you're going to be paying for it indirectly. You might think it's free, but just because you at once that it's free, no. You're going to pay for it indirectly over time. Bernie Sanders says he wanted to raise taxes on middle class. Help pay for free health care. You're going to have a nation of people that don't want to work. Nobody's going to want to do is be that entrepreneur that starts out a new business. Because if they go to make more money, the more money that they go to make is going to go to pay for somebody else that doesn't want it. It's amazing how people, you can dangle that carrot in front of them and they run after it like it's... I mean, it's comical to see these people, feel the burn, feel the burn. They don't realize that he's been in office for nothing. He is establishment. So is Hillary. The only one that's not establishment is Trump. The greatest president in the world if he's elected. But I think he has the right idea. We need to get our businesses back from Mexico. There's a video out on the Blaze when they have the video from when the 1,400 people that work in Chicago, when they found out, they have them on camera, when they found out that their jobs are being replaced and the business was moving to Mexico. How would you out there moving your business to Mexico? And everybody goes, Trump says he's going to pay for the wall, and the Mexicans say they're not going to pay for it. They're going to pay for it indirectly when he can set tariffs on incoming merchandise. And if he wants to do that, he can set it. Congress can in up to 3 months they can do is repeal it. Then he can set it again. So he can make them pay for themselves. Make them pay for that wall. And sooner or later, these businesses, they want to do business here in the United States because sooner or later, those companies will go, you know what? We're paying a crap load of taxes. We need to move back into the United States. That's what they need to do. It's amazing that people don't see that. They don't understand that capitalism is the way to go. And these people that are saying this, they're saying, oh, no, we need to be, socialism. And I'm like, and they're working for a capitalist company. They're not working for a socialistic company. If a socialist, no matter what you did, you could go and succeed and do a great job, and the person that has the lowest job would be paid the same. That. There was a guy tried his business. He tried to bring everybody up to, I want to say it was like $100,000 a year. Everybody was going to pay, or something like that, or $60,000. It was a big amount. People got pissed off that the low-life janitor, they thought, was making the same as them. And they didn't think it was right, so a lot of them left. He took his salary and put it back into the company, and they didn't care. That's like when you raise it to $15 an hour and you got a guy that's at 14 and he thinks he's going to go to 19. It isn't going to happen. He's going to find out very hour. Or she. Yeah, they're pushing right now for in California to make sure they strike the words founding fathers from every law that they have. They want to do is make it gender neutral. Who were the people that signed it? How many women were on the Declaration of Independence when they signed it? So you look at that. So I think they need to do is relook at that and revisit that. They want to do is we're so in this country, we're so afraid that we're going to offend somebody. Heck, they wrote a ticket to a street preacher down in Texas. It says University of Texas police give a for offending students. This came out on Infowars.com. It says it's illegal to offend people. It says University of Texas at Austin Police Department issued disorderly conduct citation to an outdoor preacher on Tuesday after students complained that his message offended them. The preacher, who was standing just off campus, recorded an interaction with several. It was illegal for him to offend students. The preacher was an intern at the Campus Ministry USA, an evangelical ministry organization that travels around college campus loudly preaching their message. The ministry is headed to who told the Daily Caller that intern Joshua was speaking out against STDs, warning about anal sex. The university told that who claimed to be verbally harassed by the intern preacher. The video shows the officer explaining that the intern use of anal and penis offended students before issuing a citation for disorderly conduct. After a lawyer representing Joshua called the chief of police called Joshua and apologized. The citation was withdrawn. They think that it's okay because they were offending somebody with their free speech. Well, I tell you what, free speech, and it might be Fox News, it might be MSNBC, it might be The View, it might be CNN, could be any news. And just by the way they talk might offend you because you don't like what they're talking about, but doesn't mean you can stop it. It's called freedom of speech. It's right in our Constitution, our amendments. Freedom of speech. So you look at, you're speaking about freedom of speech, they want to do is Twitter. Let me see, I'm bringing up this article here. I hope my internet didn't crash again. Nope. Here we go. Apparently, Twitter characterizes criticism of Islam as hate speech against freedom, against religion off limits. So, but it doesn't, I guarantee you, it doesn't use the same exact rules for Christianity. So earlier this week, Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey announced that the formation of the council under the Orwellian justification that freedom of expression starts with safety. Despite claiming the council comprises a diversity of voices, it does not include a single organization defending the organization dedicated. So what they're going to do is they're going to try to police free speech. They're already doing it. You'll notice you'll post stuff in Facebook and all of a sudden magically it disappears. Related, for Second Amendment related, or wondering what, doesn't get shared like some of the other stuff does. Sorry about that there. But you have to speak out about this because once they start, this is a Danish man. He was convicted for Facebook posts comparing Islam with Nazism. It's a message deemed racist despite the fact that Islam is not a race. So, if you want that to start happening here, it said Nielsen's comments were found to be, and he was charged under the country's criminal code for racist offenses. Nielsen claimed that he was merely referring to Islamists and not all Muslims, but prosecutor Bente Schnack claimed there was no difference. Nielsen cannot appeal the fine because it's not over 3,000 kroner. So he has no recourse of action. Wait till that starts happening. I have a problem with one of the shows that just came out. It's actually, I think it's on Fox. It's called Lucifer. And what are they doing? They're trying to do is the devil. And make it, talk about how smooth and how cool he is. And I'm like, I'm really surprised. Or, well, I guess I shouldn't be surprised with all of what's going on. Talking about New York school, speaking about Islam, New York school is organize a hijab day for non-Muslim students. It's a high school teacher for over 30 years says, "Let me say this is wrong." Officials at Rochester World School of Inquiry spent last week fielding dozens of calls from parents angry about the World Hijab Day event that encouraged girls to wear Muslim religious head covering. Sophomore Iman Muthana wears hijab to school and wrote a letter to Principal Sheila Webster asking if the school can put on its own World Hijab. Webster approved the event designed to educate students about religious purposes behind the hijab, but did not inform parents until after the media reports of the event sparked backlash online and angry calls to the school. If one of the kids was a Christian and said, I would say, and said, well, let's wear a cross around our neck day. I guarantee you that wouldn't fly. Or let's wear the Jewish yarmulke on the back of our head. Would that fly? No. Shoot it down so fast. But they're afraid. Right now, there's so much fear to offend anyone that's Muslim. So they immediately, oh, yeah, we'll look good doing is sparking outrage. So there's another report out. Let me see if I can find it here. Well, that's the one where they're talking a plot to shoot up a Detroit megachurch. We'll get into that here in a second. We're also gotta get in and talk about the letter about the halftime show. So, where the heck did it go? Maybe I moved it, but it was a report about they're trying to do is downplay the Christianity phobia, where people feeling like the Christians are being attacked. So they're trying to downplay that as like just a bunch of BS talk. Well, right now, I really am worried about friends of mine that are in law enforcement, because in the last week, there have been 4 or 5 officers that have been shot and killed, or shot. And right after, so when Beyonce had her halftime show, she police groups around the country have taken serious issue with Beyonce's Super Bowl halftime show. It says the New Jersey State Troopers have a very historic reason for their shock and disgust over the performance. It says 79 Trooper Werner Forrester was shot and killed with his own service weapon after backing up a fellow officer. February 10th, 2016, this is a letter to Roger Goodell, Commissioner of the National Football League. It says, Dear Mr. Goodell, I am the president of the State Troopers Fraternal Association, New Jersey, STFA, and New Jersey State Trooper. The STFA NJ represents over 2,000 active New Jersey State Troopers and the host of the State of the Super Bowl XLVIII at the New Jersey Meadowlands in 2014. I'm writing you the level of shock and disgust my members have for your decision to allow a performer paid by the NFL to use Super Bowl 50 as a form to deliver blatantly anti-police message to the entire world. It says, I must presume that the NFL stands that is okay to agitate and, if necessary, harm the police. and certain groups in our society feel it justified. I allude specifically to praising the Black Panther movement, a group who has without shame assassinated dozens. A group even today who calls for members of our society to rise up against the police and kill them in cold blood. It says, I remind you, the NFL and team owners of the New Jersey State Trooper Warner Forrester was brutally murdered by a Black Panther member and convicted fugitive Joanne Chesimard in 1973 on the New Jersey Turnpike. Harbored in Cuba on this day by the Castro regime. And that's as far as the leather went. I'm sure I think there's more to it, but it says the league is about protecting women. Why don't they take umbrage with the halftime show that is aimed at lifting one race up and bringing another down? So I was upset with it because I don't think that message against police needs to be out there. And apparently people have taken heed to it because five officers, a friend of mine, I see it's almost every day about either an officer getting shot or an officer getting killed in the last week. I mean, I've never seen it this much. I like to do is say blue lives matter, black lives matter, white lives matter, all lives matter. Everybody's life matters. I just hate to see this happen. We are divided so much. It's like they want to on purpose divide us because the more they divide us, the easier it is to control. If we all came together as one, we would have a hard time controlling the message. They want to do is get everybody to hate each other. They're the reason why you don't get there. These nasty billionaires are why you don't get your out of poverty. They want to do is keep giving you money, keep you there. Because if you get out of poverty, who do they have to control? It's like a crack dealer. First fix is free, and they just keep giving it to you. What do? You get clean and quit doing it? Where's their money? Where's their control over you? Nowhere. And if they get to where we go to socialism, that's that crack fix right there. Give you that free stuff. Keep giving you the free stuff. As long as they keep giving you free stuff, a lot of people are going to just sit there and keep taking it. Why go out and work? Why do anything when they'll give it to me for free? I can sit at home. You know, you wonder about the Second Amendment. A lot of people think that, if we get rid of the Second Amendment or get rid of these guns, it'll stop all the crime. Well, take a look at Panera. Prior to the deadly shooting they had here where 2 officers were killed, the Panera CEO come out. He said, no guns were allowed. It says, prior to the deadly shooting, CEO, I'm not sure you pronounce, made the announcement that guns weren't allowed in any of the country's 1,800 Panera Bread locations. According to CNBC, he said that the Panera just wanted to recognize everybody's rights. The company's policy, unfortunately, Brian Evans from wielding his gun on the premise or from tragically ending the lives of 2 police officers. As the Washington Post reported, the Hartford County Sheriff's Office identified the victim as Senior Deputy Patrick Daly, a 30-year veteran who had been with the force for 16 years. They don't get it. You could put up all the gun-free zones. The only people they're going to stop bringing guns in are the law-abiding people. Now that they just made it a gun-free zone. That's the only way that I know that I can stay safe from something happening in that business. I don't care. Panera's not that great where I have to go eat there. Many other businesses that are locally owned that allow guns will allow me to go there. They have the Iowa Gun Owners businesses that allow guns. And we give them props for them allowing guns. Go to their site. What happens is it's so easy to sit there and ignore that they don't have guns. Who cares? Just go in there anyway. Oh, I got to have that sandwich. No, you don't. If you stand up for your principles and what is right, I could not live. And somebody went in to rob the place with a gun at the time, and I had went, okay, I'll leave home, and the place gets robbed, and me or a family member gets shot in there because I had to have their little, I don't know what you call, their whatever soup and salad that they have that's overpriced. So yuppie feel good that they want to go in there and feel good about themselves. Hip restaurant with with uncomfortable stools. Hey, good, more power to them. I don't have to. I can make a sandwich just as easy at home. So no, we're going to allow them to carry guns no matter what. It's funny how people will sit there and be so offended by the flag and so offended by our law, but they won't be offended by the benefits that they get from it. Here's one that I saw came out. This one is for people with kids and young kids especially. The federal government pushes for visits to check on parents. Government-appointed monitors to assess the upbringing of children. It says the federal government is seeking to create a new bureaucracy that would intervene in the family life and could even see state-appointed visits to assess child's well-being. So right there, you know what they're going to do? They're going to walk into your house. Do you have any guns in this house? Show me where they are. Show me that they're locked up securely. Show me that they have trigger gun locks on them. Blah, 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 whatever. Show me where your medications are. Show me that there's none of them. What's this doing here? This is a danger. We're going to take your children away. You wait. It's going to happen. If they pass this law because they go, well, there's some bad parents out there who treat kids. Everybody. You don't blanket law everybody because of the few. And what they do is they come into your house and they'll say, nope, you can't have these guns in here. Not when these kids are this age. It's going to happen. In California, Guns were, there's an article out here where guns were taken from the wrong people under California confiscation law. An Eyewitness News investigative report shows that California's 2007 gun confiscation law has resulted in guns being taken from the wrong people and, in some cases, laid out on the front porch for neighbors. It says firearm confiscation is an outgrowth of the Armed and Prohibited Persons System. APPS, credited in 2001, APPS lists prohibited gun owners as felons, individuals with history of violence, domestic violence, restraining orders, or severe mental illness. Auspicious of the APPS databases are cross-referenced to locate persons barred from gun possession. Then the guns from those people are confiscated in law enforcement sweeps. But according to your Central Valley, some of the guns that have been confiscated were taken from people who should not have lost them. It cites the example of retired nurse Lynette Phillips in Upland, California. Phillips, in 2013, only be greeted by police who were there to take all the guns from her home. She'd been added to the APPS list because she voluntarily checked herself into a mental health facility after having an adverse reaction while Phillips alleges that the nurse who interviewed her at the facility falsely documented that she was suicidal, thus landing her name on the prohibited gun owner roster. Who is to say they fill out is correct? All they got to do is make bogus paperwork and say that you're suicidal and you're combative. And once they go into your house to get your guns, you're going to be pissed off and combative. They will find a reason to take your guns. It's a scary road that they're going down. We Second Amendment. It says this guy was with a machete attacked Israeli Christians in Ohio restaurant. Not Pakistan restaurant, Ohio restaurant. You need to do is watch. Yesterday or Wednesday actually, if you were Christian, you were standing out as a Christian. So much so that you don't know what could have happened. They could have been attacked because now they know you're a Christian. And people go, oh, well, that doesn't happen. Take a look over in Europe. Lady come out and she says it attacks every day. They said their society is gone. We're trying to keep it from going that way here. They want to do is move them into this country, but they don't want to accept. I don't care if they want to be Muslim. They want a Muslim religion, but they can't make our society be their religion. We're not going to go to Sharia law. Got to stand up for what is right. If you don't, when it's gone, it's too late. That's what you see people do is they stand up and they this way. Well, you didn't do anything about it to stop it. what we're going to do is call it a night. Hey, make sure you do is get your vote in for your what Girl Scout cookie is your favorite cookie. I'm going to keep posting on Facebook and Twitter. And we can do is get the... I'm trying to work on a poll. We're going to do is by next Friday of results. And I want to see who or what is the favorite flavor of Girl Scout cookie. I swear they got mind-controlling government substance in there. So check it out. Everybody, make sure have a great night, a great weekend, and like I like to say, most of all,